It's Monday. Getting ourselves together here. Get myself up and going. Why isn't it telling me that I'm live so I can look at videos? I'll give everybody a minute or two to pop on. And why can't I find it? Not showing me. As you pop on, you know the drill. Tell me hi, tell me what you're working on. There we go. Okay, now I can see things. Holly working on One Skein Wonder, then back to Flower Child cardigan. Excellent. Um, yeah, Karen finished her Flower Child cardigan. It's so pretty. It makes me want to do one. Um, I did get some new colors of DK weight yarn. I was thinking about doing that, but I was also thinking about working on the sweater that Ashley's working on right now too. So, oh, so many things. So many things, you guys. Hi, Sherry. And you would think with the snow that we've gotten and how the air has seemed so damp outside for the last week or so that it wouldn't be so terribly dry in the shop. But these blowers, man, they're just going like crazy and it is dry in here. I was winding a ball of yarn for Brenda the other day and I wound it like 4 times because there was so much static. It just kept jumping all over the place. Bah. Hi, Cindy. Nicole working on a chameleon beanie. And back to the Flower Child cardigan. Awesome. Hi, Patty. Okay, well, I got on a little late, so I will go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is February 23rd, 2026. Tomorrow is my mama's birthday, so I know she's on here watching. She always is, so tell her happy birthday early. Hi, Linda. And I get to celebrate with her next week. Hi, Mama. Adding the Pico Edge to a butterfly tunic. Cool. Does it call for a Pico Edge or are you just doing something fancy on your own? I can't, I don't, it doesn't look like at least the one that I have. She's working on this tunic right here, which is the butterfly tunic. It's got cute little butterflies down the front of it. It's perfect for like a one skein gradient little girl dress. She's doing a little something fancy to it, I guess. Um, so my name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Shop hours for us are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Deb and Ashley are here Monday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 for drop-in help. $10. You don't have to schedule it ahead of time. If you ever get stuck on a project and you don't want to wait until Wednesday or later in the week to come see us and get help, they are here for you. 2 hours, and it's usually a small crowd and they can get you back on track. Hi, Oriana. Hi, Charlene. Just doing something fancy, Mom says. Vicky, finish your qualifier socks for Sock Madness. Awesome. Joyce was working on hers in here last week, and we got discussing about how once you get the leg of the sock done, the pattern for qualifiers is it's like almost it's a nod to buffalo plaid. And so you do vertical stripes in the contrast color afterwards with a crochet chain, and how difficult that is to do in such a tiny little circumference. And they recommend you do it after, I think after you turn the heel. So I'm curious to see what everybody's socks look like. Um, it looks like a pretty neat design. So that's who I am and where we are and when we're open. As a reminder, Thursday evenings are social stitching time, I guess we could say, in the evenings from anywhere from 5 or 6 to anywhere from 9 or 10, whenever the girls decide that they are done and they want to be on their way, then they're done. Oh, my allergies are driving me crazy today too. It's a whole bunch of everything in here today. Ugh. So Thursday evenings, there is no cost for that, but we do ask that you remember that there's not really technically anybody here on duty to help with if you have problems with your projects. It's Deb's evening off and it's more just for people to get together and relax and enjoy each other's company and knit or crochet, whatever you're working on. Okay, so let's talk about knitting and stuff, and then I have new yarns to show off and new notions and new project bags to talk about. So, first, what I am wearing. This is not something that I knit, and if you've been in the shop, you may have seen me wear it a time or two, but this is the Magical Thinking. Jody knit this and gifted it to me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. I wear it a lot. So Magical Thinking is a pattern by Casapinka. It is what she calls an over the head circular shawl. It's what like the other one, the first one she did was all point south. Same design, same shape, same concept, but different stitch patterns. Each one takes 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. Hey babe. And so this one is in this beautiful, beautiful dark blue, an off-white, and then a variegated blue. She did hold some silk and alpaca with some of it, so it's got a little bit of fuzz to it. But I love this pattern. I knit one a few years ago that was in brighter colors, but this one was gifted to me and it's my winter go-to to tuck under anything or just to wear over a lighter shirt. But what's nice about it is if you knit it a little bit looser and you block it a little bit bigger, you can pull it down over your shoulders to be more of like a little shrug or a cape versus just it being a cowl. But it's like you get the look of wearing one of those triangular shawls without having to fuss with what you do with tails and all of that. So it's a really great pattern. I wear this a lot and I decided well, I decided a couple weeks ago that I need some coordinating accessories to go with this when I'm out and about in public. Oh yeah, Mom, you're in Magical Thinking too. When I'm out and about in public and I need to represent the fact that I own a yarn store and can make things for myself and not wear um my Amazon hat that my aunt bought for me a couple years ago, which I do like and it's cute, but when I'm in the community, people know who I am and I need to have hand knits on. So I was looking at the yarns around the shop and decided that our custom color of Caracol, which is the super bulky Malabrigo yarn in Decada. This was the latest addition to our custom colors. Would go really well with this. It's a little bit greener, but it's close enough and it's got kind of those blue-green tones to it. So I knit myself. I started it last night and I was knitting on the couch and the cat decided she needed to be in my lap. This is a new thing for me and for the cat, for her to decide that she wants to be in close proximity to me, especially when the dogs are around too. But she has decided that if I have the orange blanket in my lap, she can climb up there and the dogs mostly leave her alone. That means I have a lot more cat hair on things. But so I knit myself a headband. This is the Respire, Respire headband. It's written to be either a headband on its own or a hat. Either way, you do the same thing where you knit essentially a headband for the hat portion. You just pick up and knit atop of it. It would serve itself if it were more of a solid yarn versus a variegated, because you can't really see. It's got like these traveling stitches that go and it's knit flat and seamed. But it's got these traveling stitches that kind of almost braid their way around the headband. But babe, of course you do. Everybody knows that. But so now I have a headband that kind of coordinates with my scarf. Part of it too was I was getting shamed a little bit by Sarah, my best friend down in the bead store, because the other day I had like a pink headband on and my neon gloves and my Magical Thinking, and I was quite colorful, but nothing really coordinated. So now I feel like at least I can coordinate a little bit. So I think the headband turned out really cute. Just took. Oh, thank you. I mean, I like being around me too, but sometimes. Sometimes I don't know why anybody wants to be around me. But headband's done. Although I was sitting in here thinking the Fair Isle ombre beanie I knit a couple weeks ago, which is also sitting on the table. Would also probably work really well and coordinate with what I'm wearing. So I do have options. They're just always here in the shop and not like where I need them to be if I'm out and about. So I need to raid some samples from the shop sometimes. Um, but this was a fun pattern and I didn't weigh it, but it seems like it only used like half of the ball of yarn. So I may just do a simple ribbed headband with this where it would be a lot easier and you don't have to worry too much about trying to follow a pattern or if you should also. That's the beauty of a bald man. He doesn't shed, Holly. I shed enough for both of us. Um, Yeah, because sometimes you look at yarns like this and it's tricky to figure out what kind of pattern to knit that's not just going to get lost in the yarn. So I might if I decide I need just a quick knit or maybe crochet, although crochet might use a little bit more yarn. So we'll see. But that's done. I finished the little baby sweater that I was working on last week. This is the baby snuggle cardi, and it's a little bit wrinkly because I decided to do what I said I was going to do. So I did put it in um a laundry bag, like one of those zippered mesh bags, but I threw it in the laundry with a bunch of other stuff because I wanted to see how the Remix Light would react if I just threw it in the washer and the dryer. So that's why the hood's a little bit wrinkly. If I had laid it flat to dry, it would be a little bit not not so wrinkly, I guess. But Remix Light, this is the 6-month size. I think it comes in 3 sizes, and then there's another version of the pattern that's a toddler one. I think Christina told me she was the one that had knit this originally. But it's got cute little silver buttons on it. If I were to do this different and I were to do this not just for a shop sample, but actually for a little person, I would probably put the buttonholes closer together. I just feel like they're a little bit too far apart. And I know you don't want to be sitting there fussing with a bunch of buttons for a little one, but I'm not a big fan of how it kind of pops apart with with the buttons, and I ended up finding buttons down in the bead store down at Purple Sage. She has a variety of single beads like we do, but then she also has trays of button cards with a bunch of different things, a bunch of different styles, sizes, all of that. So I found buttons down there. I really like how everything turned out. It softened up a bit. Remix is not my favorite to knit with, but it really did turn out pretty well in the going through the washer and dryer. I'm happy with it. So that sample's done. Um, so what I'm working on, I don't have anything from the shop that I'm actively working on right now. Oh, there we go. Kiddo Mosaic Cardi is the toddler version. Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. Um, I don't want to knit a bigger one. I figure once if I'm not knitting a baby size of things, I want to knit a me size of things. Um, yeah, Holly, I actually didn't realize she had as many matching buttons as she did. I thought she only had just kind of the smattering that she's got on top, but she's got trays underneath of all sorts of buttons. So found some really cute ones. She just didn't have enough of what I was looking for in some other styles. So my next project, I did talk last week about the scalloped edge. Oh, what's the name of it? Scalloped tee. That is going to be my Florida project, but that's one that I'm doing with yarns that I bought in Florida when I was down there in November. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because I did cast on for it last week, but that's about it. But I need to have an accessory from the shop. So one of the patterns that came across my feed last week was the Silchester scarf. And it's written for two colors of fingering weight yarn, two skeins of fingering weight yarn. And it's a pretty cool design. And I think it would be a fun shop sample to have where it's not an overly complicated design. I wish that I had printed it out to show you. And I don't think I talked about it last week. It's not on my notes that I talked about it last week. But it would be a fun one to do that looks more complicated than it is, I hope. But it alternates rows of stripes where you're just knitting with one color down and back and the other color down and back, but then you're doing knit one, slip one that almost looks like brioche in sections. And so the angles of it change. It's tricky to describe, but I think it would be a fun travel project. I do have my second sock that I need to knit. I knit the one in Florida last time. I should knit the second one this time. I really want those socks done though, so that might be my motivation to do that. But I might knit that Silchester scarf. Melissa was eyeing the wall behind me because of course this yarn all behind me is fingering weight yarn. And she suggested that I do something like this and make it like a watermelon scarf because I do think it lends itself to two contrasting solids. Yeah, it does kind of look like mitered squares that are connected. Sort of. But I just knocked my notes on the floor. So this was my Melissa's suggestion, was to do kind of the pink and green nod to watermelon look for it. But let me know too in the comments if there's another combo that you think you'd like to see me knit up. It needs a light color and a dark color. I could just do black and white, but I've done a couple kind of black and white or gray and white things. I want to do something fun and different. So I'm going to try and stay away from the like blues and grays and stuff because I've done a lot of that lately. Although, of course, that's what I gravitate to, but trying to branch out and have different samples in here. So that might be one of my projects that I take with me. I am here all week this week in the shop. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We leave Saturday to go down to Florida for a week. So if I do a live next Monday, it's not going to be a full on in the shop. Monday motivation. Hi, Aunt Jackie. You guys, Aunt Jackie's grandson. So I'm gonna say he's like my second cousin, just won gold at the Olympics. He's on the her grandson Zach Wierenski is on the USA hockey team that just won gold. So that's pretty cool that we have like this little it's not even, it's like 2 degrees of separation. It's not even like 6 degrees of separation. So pretty cool that we know somebody who knows somebody who was in the Olympics. I've been telling everybody the last couple days. He's like my cousin and he's in the Olympics, even though I've never met. Yeah, congrats to the whole family and the whole team. It was pretty cool. So what else? That's all the knitting. It's warm in here, you guys, so I'm gonna take this off for a minute. Just to tease you with some sunshine. I might do that. Maybe we'll do a quick live by the ocean or by the pool or by the little river that's right there. We'll do something. Hopefully, Mom said this morning it was in the 60s again, so or in the 40s again. So I'm hoping it warms up once we get there. It looks like it might rain for a couple days, but that's okay. We can deal with rain. I won't have straight hair down there, but that's fine too. Okay, so let's talk about things that I got in boxes that were here waiting for me when I got here today. Some of this came last week, but then some of it came today. Twice sheared sheep. We've gotten restocks of a couple things and then we got a couple new things. So we have back in stock their original quick gauge. This just has a film on it that you peel off, but it helps to differentiate between the two. So this is a quick stitch gauge, counts your stitches. You line it up for either your knit or crochet, and one stitch in each box helps you determine what your gauge is for your stitch gauge. Then we got a restock of the row gauge, which is kind of difficult to see. Well, that doesn't help any, but row gauge, same thing, only it goes up and down this way, so you can fold it and compare it to your rows to figure out what your gauge is for those. So we've got those both back in stock. Those are $18 a piece. We finally got more of the sock sizing rulers. So they're like old school flat bracelets. This one's in the package, so it doesn't quite work as well as it would with out of the package, but men's, women's, kids, shoe sizes and inches and centimeters on the back, instructions on how to use it. So we've got more of those. We got more of the yarn gaiters in. If you've not seen these or heard us talk about these are fantastic little gadgets. So the yarn gaiter clips on the edge of your project bag and allows you to manage if you're working with more than one color or more than one ball of yarn at a time, keeps them from getting so twisted. So it looks like you would just feed your yarn through the holes, but the one end has a lobster claw on it. It opens and you can release your yarn that way. The problem with some things that are like this, either the bags that have the holes or a piece that has the holes just fixed like this, is if you have to unwind your project or you want to take your project out of the bag, there's no easy way to do that without cutting your yarn or, finishing it one way or the other. With this, you can unclip it, open it up, take your yarn out and move on. It clips right onto a bag, like, whoops. Man, I just knocked everything down. If you were to have a cute bag like this is one of the new bags we got from Twice Sheared Sheep. It has a zipper top. It's got a cute little zipper pocket in the front. This is their spring. I don't remember what they called it, but so you could take this. It's got little lobster clips. Well, not lobster clips, but little clips on either end. So if you were doing, let's say, a 2-color or a 3-color sock, something like that, you could clip it right on the edge of your bag, feed your yarn through there. The beauty of the fact that it clips on is you can unclip it, put it in your bag with your work, and zip up your project bag and not have anything hanging out the side. So this is one of the new bags we got. It's pretty big. It's got a square, well, it's got a rectangular bottom on it. If we were to try and fit some skeins of fingering weight yarn in there, it would be a good 2-skein fingering weight yarn project. 1 or 2 skeins. So if you were doing socks or like that Silchester scarf I was just talking about, I could do that. Put 1 cake here, 1 cake here, that little yarn gaiter along the edge to feed my yarn through, and I would be set with everything in this bag. These are $42.50, and we only got a couple of them just because I don't like to have too many on hand. I just want to have a few for people to see and get an idea about. So this is the spring style, and then they have what they call their chubby sheep, which I think is so cute. Look at how cute these guys are. Same shape, same style, with the wide bottom on it. Chubby sheep. And we've got a couple of those. So those are $42.50. We got more of the Snap ID tags. So these are labeled with the lengths. So 16, 24, 32, and 40. If you use your Chaigu needles, remember they label theirs differently, but it's the finished look. I know those chubby sheep are so cute. Remember with the Chaigu ones, like what would make a 16-inch total length is going to be an 8-inch cord, but most of us understand the math between them. So we got these guys back in stock. They're $21 a set, and you get 16, 24, 32, and 40 in one. And you can put multiple cords in there. You could put, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 cords in each one of those. With the last shipment we got from them, we got one of their other new products. This is Dawn's handy reference guide to all things yarny. And this has really has all things yarny in there. It's got a needle and hook conversion chart, lace, yarn weights, yarny internet slang, um, make along, LYS, FO. So for people that were questioning a couple weeks ago what show off your faux Friday meant, this would give you the answer to that. More yarny internet slang, work in progress, yarn bombing, yarn barf, pattern abbreviations, a couple pages worth of pattern abbreviations, 4 pages worth, 5 pages worth of pattern abbreviations. They've got Tunisian abbreviations in here, crochet chart symbols. You guys, that is something that's so tricky to me because I feel like it's not universal, but they've got crochet chart symbols, knit chart symbols, cables, yarn requirement estimates, anything from a hat, scarf, socks, shawl, sweater, baby blanket, Afghan, and all the different weight yarns to give you an approximate yardage, which I think is fantastic. Yarn care symbols, which is huge for me because I look on some of the labels of the yarns and they just have little pictures and I don't know what those little pictures mean. So body measurements for babies, body measurements for children and teens, body measurements for women, body measurements for men, head measurements, foot measurements. So much stuff in here, you guys. So these really are handy guide to all things yarny. So these are $15.75. We've got a few of them here in the shop too. But just a great thing. I actually hadn't gone through all the way through as much as I did just now. So I'm even more pleased with them now that I've gone through page by page and looking at everything on them. Let's see. The other project bag that we got from them is a big one. It's their large tote. And I have to take it out of the bag because you just can't see. You can't see what it looks like when it's all smashed up and in a bag. So this is their large tote. Look at how cute it is. It looks like spring and summer with the moss and the mushrooms and the flowers. Well, I guess there aren't mushrooms. I don't know why I thought there were mushrooms on it. Moss and flowers. Big handles. The hardware that they use is really nice and sturdy. This would be a great shawl bag or like a summer shirt. Maybe you could fit a sweater in it. I mean, it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. You could probably fit a sweater in there. Again, with squared flat bottom, not square. But light colors, so you're not going to lose anything inside. Outside storage pocket. Big handles, lots of zippers. So these are 63 and we've got a couple of those in that pattern. Okay, Mom, I will set one of those aside for you. And then we got more Symphony yarns today. Symphony Yarns makes fingering weight, DK weight, and worsted weight. So I ordered a couple of the colors of worsted. I think I mentioned briefly that Symphony Yarns was doing state colors. So like the states across the US. So it's a Knit Pro Symphony Yarns. This one is Hawaii. And I like the fact that they give a little, I know it's tricky to see on here, but it's easier to see in person. They give a little, the inspiration photo and then what it would look like knit up. So it looks pretty much like Hawaii to me. I mean, all the bright, beautiful colors. 75% extra fine merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 438 yards. So that's Hawaii. And then we've got Michigan, which was inspired by the, I'm pretty sure that's Pictured Rocks. I've never been up there, but I think that's what that is. These are $24 a piece, the fingering weight. So it's these pretty blues and then kind of the gray taupey colors. Alaska, which we had last time, but it wasn't here very long before it disappeared. This one is inspired by the Northern Lights. Blues, all the different shades of blues and teals. And then Illinois is kind of just like the Chicago, it's like the Chicago skyline. So it's this, I don't know, kind of, it almost reminds me more of like Seattle. Kind of an overcast blue gray, but it's a pretty color. I could see doing a sweater out of that. It would be very sharp. So that's Illinois. And then one of the other ones that we just got today is Maine, which is just this beautiful, all these shades of green, kind of a very pale green as the background, and then dark specks. And it's like the evergreen trees and a little bit of water and with those flecks of the dark green in there. So that's their fingering weight. They have a bunch more colors, but I figure every time I put an order in, I'm just going to add a couple more colors to try and expand what they have, because I think they're beautiful colors. Then, so that's what they call Terra, is their fingering weight. Their DK weight is called Viva. I mentioned it briefly because I was using it to finish off the sleeve of the Trixie sweater, which is that sweater right back there that I finished a couple weeks ago. It's a little bit heavier than Variations, but very similar. For anybody that has been introduced to Symphony yarns, this was kind of one of their first signature colors that they came out with. This is the DK version, but the fingering weight version of this actually came in the, Mom, you have one of these. It was like one of their Mother's Day needle kits, seasonal limited edition needle kits, but the color is called Summer Romance. And it looks like summer. Sarah has been bugging me to get this color in fingering weight for a long time, and I never did, but I finally got it in DK now that I actually have a vendor. But unfortunately on the DK and the worsted, they don't put photos, and they make not on the non-state fingering weight. All the fingering weight I've gotten from them has been the state colors. So I'm not sure if they put what it looks like knit up, but you can go on their website and look at the colors and see if you hover over or click on each color, it will show you like a little knitted swatch. Yes. Isn't that the same thing, Melissa? Yeah. Melissa's got one too. And she knew exactly where it was, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, that one came with the mini skeins too. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. The other color of DK that I got, I am just in love with, and it is called Wilderness. And if you needed to knit like a camo something for somebody, or like a foresty something, this would be amazing for that. I think it's this blue looks brighter on my Facebook feed, but it's like a deep teal in with all those woodsy colors. I want to make a sweater out of this. This would not do well for that. What's the one that we were talking about at the beginning? The Flower Child, because there's lace and you would kind of lose it, but just a basic pullover sweater, I think that would be beautiful. These ones might not go out. They might come home with me. We'll see. Then, oh, one more Viva. One more DK weight. And it's called Neon Confetti. Look at this color. How fun and bright and happy is that? So it's a pale background, and then it's got all the flecks of blue, orange, pink, green, neon confetti. It looks like confetti cake, but neon version of it. So the DK and the worsted are $26 a skein. So for the worsted, I got a couple solid or tonal colors that I thought would complement well what we get. I know, Holly. Um, colors that would complement what we get in Rios, but colors that Malabrigo doesn't carry. So this one is deep emerald. So really, really just a pretty emerald green. This is peacock green. We have had something similar in Malabrigo Rios, but I like this. Like I like the lights and darks in that. It's really pretty. Um, and again, it's hard for me. I had requested color cards, but they said they ran out before I could get one. It's hard for me to tell on screens what exactly I'm getting, which I don't like shopping on screens any more than you guys do, which is why it's fun to come in and see it all in person. But one of the things I feel like Malabrigo kind of is lacking is a good, just like a good yellow. And so Symphony Yarns had this color called Sunshine that I think is beautiful. It's just a bright, happy yellow. And then I couldn't resist. I got the neon confetti and worsted because I think this would be such a it'd be fun to use it as an accent in an accessory. It'd be fun to do baby stuff with it. But then kind of to go along with it, I got Galaxy Glow. Look at this, you guys. Melissa. I wish I could see everybody's face the way I can see Melissa's face. Her jaw just dropped open. You guys, it is so cool. Look at that. Look at that orange and that green in there. It's so pretty. I love it. So, um, those are all the new colors of the Symphony yarns that we got here. We can, because we get Symphony yarns from one of our vendors that we order fairly regularly from. If you see online that there's a color that you are interested in, let us know and I can try and get that for you. Vicky, I know it's so fun. Can you imagine doing that with something like dark with it too? It would just pop, but I don't know. I need to do something with it. I don't know what I'm going to do. What do I need to make with it? It does seem very 80s. Yes, it is. I don't know, like something in brioche would be fun if you did something real dark against it, or stripes, or I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with a fun project for that because I think that's so cool. I wonder if I could do that Silchester scarf I was talking about at the beginning, but do it in worsted instead. I bet I could. And just find like a black or something to go with it. Obviously, I wouldn't do green, but like a dark color with it, it would just jump. It would just jump out. So, hi, Amy. Um, so yeah, it's pretty 80s, but in like the best way possible. So I may end up having to play around with patterns a little bit to see what I can come up with. What I don't have yet, but I do have on pre-order, Malabrigo is coming out with their first hardcover book. It's called Timeless Knits, and I just read about it. I think it's 19 patterns, and it's a variety of accessories and sweaters, inspired by the life of, of the land of Uruguay, where Malabrigo is from. So if that's something that you have seen promote on social media and you're interested in having one, let us know. Who's too young for the 80s? Come on, I was born in the 70s. Um, let me know and we can set one aside for you. I believe they're $35. I'm not sure. I just made sure that that the back office knew that we wanted to pre-order them. So we've got those on pre-order. What else do we have to talk about? Let's see, that's the knitting stuff. As a reminder, again, we've got this summer, we've got the Heartland Yarn Adventure and the Middle of the Mitten Yarn Crawl. And April will be, do you have Malabrigo sock yarn for the upcoming knit along? We do, Amy, we do carry quite a few different colors of Malabrigo sock, both the ultimate sock and their regular sock yarn. I don't have them in one place, but they're all on this fingering weight wall. But we usually have quite a few colors, and I believe we've got more on its way too. I think a lot of us could claim the 80s. April will be LYS Day also. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing for LYS Day yet, but you all know that we'll come up with something good and partner with Dream in Color, Madeline Tosh, whoever else we can. I've got to catch up with my reps on what's going on for LYS Day, but we will be doing something, that's for sure. I have ordered the pins. We've got those coming, the 2026 LYS Day pins. So we've got that for sure. Okay, that's all I got for everybody tonight. Next week, I will be out of town. So if I do a live, it's not going to be from here, but I will try and at least pop on and say hi to everybody while I'm down, hopefully enjoying the beautiful weather. If it's raining, I don't know. Maybe we'll find a yarn shop to do a live from. I know there's one down there. I've been there. So I hope everybody has a good evening and a good week and that you enjoyed at least the sunshine today. I thought it warmed up today until I went out to get the mail and it did not. So if you are in Michigan and you're freezing, I hope you're able to keep the heat on and the shades open so you get some sunshine. And if we don't see you in the shop sometime this week, then I will be back here in 2 weeks for sure to do another live. But in the meantime, keep knitting, keep crocheting, keep creating, and we'd love for you to come in and see us sometime this week. But the shop will be open next week as usual. Karen will be here holding down the fort, and usually she's got a crew keeping her company. So you're always welcome to come and join. So